Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is Wednesday.
It is.
All right, today is part 2 of Paul Remembers His Visit. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, starting at verse 7. As apostles of Christ, we certainly had a right to make some demands of you, but instead we were like children among you. We were like a mother feeding and caring for her own children. We loved you so much that we shared with you not only God's good news, but our own lives too. Don't you remember, dear brothers and sisters, how hard we worked among you? Night and day we toiled to earn a living so that we would not be a burden to any of you as we preach God's good news to you. You yourselves are witnesses, and so is God, that we were devout and honest and faultless toward all of you believers. And you know that we treated each of you as a father treats his own children. We pleaded with you, encouraged you, and urged you to live your lives in a way that God would consider worthy, for he called you to share in his kingdom and glory. Therefore, we never stopped thanking God that when you received his message from us, you didn't think of our words as mere human ideas. You accepted what we said as the very word of God, which, of course, it is. And this word continues to work in you who believe. And now the commentary for that part. That Paul and his companions were like children among the Thessalonians does not mean they were immature or untrained. Rather, Paul was making a point that like children they were honest, straightforward, and without guile in their presentation of the gospel and their lives. The gospel and of their lives. Although Paul had the right to receive financial support from the people he taught, he supported himself as a tent maker, Acts chapter 18, verse 3, so that he wouldn't be a burden to the new Thessalonian believers. No loving father would neglect the safety of his children, allowing them to walk into circumstances that might be harmful or fatal. In the same way, we must take new believers under our wing until they are mature enough to stand firm in their faith. We must help new Christians become strong enough to influence others for the sake of the good news. By his word and example, Paul encouraged the Thessalonians to live in a way God would consider worthy. Is there anything in your daily life that would embarrass God? What do people think of God from watching you? Paul said that the word of God continued to work in the believers' lives. Paul knew that God's words were not mere sermons or documents, but a real source of transforming power. This Bible you hold in your hands is full of real and living power. Its words are transforming lives all over the world every day. Read it, encourage fellow believers to read it, encourage non-Christian friends to read it. All who do so, truly seeking to learn, will be touched by its power. They will never be the same. It's a true fact right there.
Yeah, and I don't think that Christians are encouraged enough to read the Bible. And it comes from a history of religions suppressing the general population's access to the Bible. They didn't want you to read the Bible. You just wanted to take what they said.
Yeah, that, and I mean, let's just be honest. We're lazy.
Yes.
And so we feel that while the pastor, preacher, or whatever is going to read it for us, and
and just
tell us what it all means, and
the Cliff Note version.
Yeah, give us the Cliff Notes, but no, we really need to read it for ourselves.
Yes.
And the part of what do people think of God from watching you, just in my own life at the moment, people online are just so far removed from reality that because we as Christians, I'm going to label us all as a whole, we as Christians don't always stand on the same side of all these liberal policies. Automatically, God is wrong, we are wrong. How can you be a Christian if you don't follow this guideline or do this or help these people or whatever the case is, when it's really just a distorted view of the truth. It truly is, and I feel bad for the people that think that of us, and I wish. It's just the devil twisting again. That's what he does. He half truths and lies to get us to look bad in front of non-believers.
True, but we also got to watch, and as our example of how we act. I mean, we might come across the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we might not. Sometimes we might be doing everything right and still taken out of context. But sometimes it might be we're coming across the wrong way.
And you're right about that, because I've often said that, you know, my witness for Christ in the past has been very terrible. I mean, how can I say, yeah, I believe in Jesus, and then run off to the bar or the strip club or whatever and do whatever I want, how I want it, and you know, and then point my fingers at other people, say you're not a believer. Yeah, they'd look at me and say, yeah, well, neither are you.
Right.
so yeah, it's all of that. It's all of that all the time. We really need to watch what we do, what we say, and how we act around everybody, to try to show God's glory through us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, He doesn't need the help to show His glory. You just look outside and you see His glory. But this is how we relate to each other, is through to each other, and that's what His Spirit is in us, and His glory is in us, and we need to reflect that.
Right.
Okay, I hope everybody has a glorious day, and we'll talk to you later.